We're going to call the Warwick County Drainage Board meeting to order. Today is July 28th, 2025. Please join us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wasn't needed here. The first order of business is the approval of minutes from the July 14th, 2025 session.
I read through those. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. And is Commissioner Seaton online?
She's gonna be late.
Is that her calling?
Okay. I will second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. And second order of business is approval of claims. We have a total of $6,422.46 for all claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. And the next order of business is Deaconess drainage approval.
Sir?
Good afternoon, sir.
Jim Worley Jr., project engineer. So I just passed around an exhibit for you just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. On the front, you'll see this is the Deaconess Hospital there at 66 and I-69. And the bottom right-hand corner is the area we're talking about. It's the location of the old Ohio Township Fire Department was there, and Crossroads had a counseling building there for a while. And so both of those buildings have been torn down, and a new medical building that looks something like the one on the back is what's going in. The kind of the gray square is the medical building, and then we are doing a combination. We're doing underground detention for this project, and so kind of the blue square shows where we're putting underground detention, and then that is being done in combination. When they installed the GI Center project, they also had extra underground detention for this area, knowing something was coming in the future.
So the capacity is covered partially by the existing
Yeah.
project?
Yeah, so we've overstored. We have more detention than what's required by code. The pipe that left our site was actually smaller than it should have been, so we oversized our detention to limit the flow so that it did not overwhelm anything downstream.
Maury, the only question I had, the capacities look good. I couldn't figure out where the new underground detention was discharging to, and he just explained it. It goes into the old detention, and then that in turn discharges. So if you look on the left end of that
Where's the old
blue
detention?
square, there's a D, letter D. That is the discharge, and it goes into another one. I couldn't figure that out, but Jim's engineer explained it to me, and it looks fine.
Yeah, so this project, the bottom right on his front page, the bottom right-hand corner is where our project is. And really over on the bottom left-hand corner is where it actually discharges from Deaconess. And so it stays in a pipe underground, basically across the entire aerial photo there. And so it goes into the ground in the purple area, and it comes out of the ground way over there to the left. So.
Was there any meaning of the red?
Oh, on here?
Yes.
No, that was just a revision block that was done. during the
So
bidding
ultimately,
process.
this water will be in the Howard Williams ditch?
Yes.
Yeah, it goes to Howard Ditch, yeah, ultimately, yeah.
All water goes to Howard Williams.
All water, seems like all water in Warwick County goes to Howard Williams.
All paths lead to Howard.
Is it going to add more
No,
versus sheet feed offside? Is this going to increase the flow of water?
No, it's, the drainage ordinance states that we can't go.
No,
over and
that's
above.
right.
Yeah, and so we actually discharge less than what is there today.
He's retaining the difference or more than post versus,
Yeah, we actually retain
Creek.
more because the discharge pipe we were given to tie into was
Smaller.
actually a hair undersized. But that's okay.
What did the drainage plan look like for the old fire station? How is it different from that maybe?
The old fire station was older and didn't necessarily really have the
Yeah.
drainage part of it. And so when that comes down, we end up putting in drainage to account for all of that. And so, and the old Crossroads Counseling Center was kind of the same way. They were kind of older systems that didn't necessarily have all of today's standards in them. And so it kind of all gets
Just
ripped
hitting
up
the
and
ground,
redone.
right?
What's that?
They're just hitting the ground.
Yeah, so everything kind of gets ripped up and torn out and a whole new system puts in.
Do you want to catch up on what we're talking about or?
Go ahead if you're about ready for a vote, and I'll
Okay.
just abstain.
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Let the record show that Commissioner Seaton is now in attendance at the meeting. And any comments or questions?
No, Dennis hit it all on the head. Everything meets or exceeds our
So
minimum standards.
that's good.
Council?
No.
I make a motion to approve.
And I will second. Council, does Commissioner Seaton vote on this or
She can abstain. I think
Okay.
that's what because she wished to do.
she'll abstain? So that makes all in favor,
Aye.
2 yeas and 1 abstention. There you go.
Thank you all very much. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other business for Drainage Board?
We have a visitor here again, Mr. Fritz. I think he wanted to speak to us briefly, and he's been working on a number of things down there in that area.
Thank you, guys. Once again, James Fritz, 5340 Covert Court in Newburgh, owner of Fritz Storage. So the last time I presented to you folks, it was on 7/14, and it was to basically illustrate what I consider dire situation with my business and the homes behind us in Colonial Hills. Now, during that meeting, I was asked about NDOT checking out the culverts. There was some belief that there may have been some collapse or obstructions. So I did get with NDOT. If you look at the 3 pictures on to the left, you will see that their system is intact, operating as it should. No obstructions. One of them you can actually see all the way through daylight to where it comes out to my property. Now, when I say no obstructions, that is not counting the silted in portion of the pipe. And that does restrict flow. So with that, it was also mentioned that the Rosebud developer was given till the end of September to, properly clean the legal drain. However, later that week on 7/18, if you look at the 3 pictures on the right, we flooded again. By the grace of God, it did not get in my units. If you look closely at the bottom
And a big pump.
photo, it was an inch away from getting into my units again.
What was the first date flooding event?
6/14.
6/14.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now, along with my property flooding again, but not getting into buildings, several of the neighbors also were working their butts off to keep their homes from flooding. So guys, to me, it's simple. I know that just from listening before the meeting that we have obtained something from the developer, the full copy of the drainage agreement. September 30th. I can't wait that long. For me, every time it rains, my quality of life goes down. I don't know if this is going to be the time again. We've got homeowners behind us. I'll probably go speak at the commissioners meeting and maybe this one, where they have torn out portions of their home to try to repair. They can't even make repairs right now because if they do, they may get flooded out again until the short-term fix is corrected. So each day this ditch's flow is not corrected between Colonial Hills, they risk their property values being destroyed. And for me, I risk my business continuing to bleed storage clients. And I have not seen the bottom of it yet. Right now, we're just throwing good money after bad if we go through and make any repairs to anything. So my ask is pretty simple. as aggressively as legally allowed, this ditch needs to be cleaned out. I don't care who does it, how it works. I don't care if we, get people from state prison to come down with some shovels. We need to get some water flow going. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of business. So, you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And Dennis, I know he's been, guys, just I'll state for the record again, he's been over my property more than any, one person probably should be. And he's been working on several solutions, but the short-term solution is getting water flowing again in this ditch.
I believe all of your plans for your various sections of storage compartments, they were all done by Cash Wagner, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And they designed for the county requirement at the time, which was a 50-year storm event. So these storms you're referring to are in excess of 50-year storm events. The 14th of June and the 18th of July, was there a third storm?
No, not recently. Now, we did have a storm in 2013. Got 12 inches of rain in 3 hours. We did not see this. The flow of the water was better at that time. The ditches were not silted in and grown up, so there was not the obstructions that there are right now.
Yeah, not all your units were constructed 100% in 2013, were they?
In 2013,
I think you still had a section. to
everything
go.
north
Yeah,
was not constructed. Now, the retention lake on the north side
was.
overbuilt
Mhm.
for what we needed at that time. And the problem that exists, and I don't know if you were here for the last meeting, is the ditch was overflowing into our retention lakes.
Mhm.
So
I had that discussion with Dennis.
it was not designed for that, definitely. Any other questions, guys?
I don't. I actually drove by there shortly after you were here at the last meeting, called Dennis, talked a little bit about what I saw and what I thought. And I know Dennis has been over there, and I think, the drainage system in the entire county is one thing. And so it's hard to pick what do you do first, but I know it seems like Dennis, every time he goes to do one small mitigation project, he runs into something else that's inhibiting that mitigation. So I'll let him speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah, I just went to the county council to ask for money for 2027. We have some money here in 2026 that I'm going to put towards your neck of the woods. It's not a lot, but that night it rained so hard, we set up a big pump and pumped water downstream from you that I'm convinced helped keep the water from going in your units. And that pump remains there today. And we've been given a tractor to use by a company to put on that pump. Wednesday, we're going to reset that pump in a better spot to make a better pull. I found out I went to the Pigeon Creek Watershed Commission meeting this morning. And I found, last night and the days before, I found out that where I've got the pump set by the Restore up there at the Highway 62 and the railroad tracks, that's where your water has to come. It comes in just east of there, but that can be a backflow and go into Evansville when you hit maximum capacity going east. It's like a safety valve for excess runoff to go into Vandenberg westerly down through there and go under Burkhart, go under Green River and into Wesselman Woods, and then it turns and goes to Pigeon Creek to the north. Well, I found has dammed that off, and that's a no-no again. Found one of those deals, and that's aggravating everything. So at this meeting this morning, I told them if they had no objections, I needed to know in 1 week if they had any objections. If they didn't, I was taking that out, because that is where when everything gets full and can't get to Chandler, it's supposed to go to Evansville with the excess. It can't. So there's just all kind of, like Terry said, every time I turn around, I find something else different. But
Sure.
we're nipping away at them. We're looking at some specialized machinery to, as soon as the crops are off, to really start hitting that. My crew at the office is just phenomenal. Ashley's even going out, helping in the field to help save money. We're running shorthanded, but we can they're so willing to help and knowledgeable that I can they know what to do. And that money from that third salary can be put towards things like yours for the time being.
So
I do.
just out of curiosity, the budget proposal that you did on Tuesday of last week,
Uh-huh.
has it been approved or do you know?
It's going through a process right now. They have to decide what to do with it, the county council.
Sure.
And then it has to come back, Terry, to,
Dennis's piece will be part of the whole county budget that won't be approved until October in full.
That's what I was needing to know, because I will be presenting to the commission and the council as well to try to keep some wind at your guys' back, because
I understand.
I know the purse strings have to be loosened up. So I do appreciate the work. For the short term, I just got to get this ditch flowing, and then we can
Yeah,
concentrate on.
we've got a mutual respect going here, and it's the way it ought to be. I think I understand you and you understand our situation. And I genuinely intend to solve it.
Appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
No, sir, not from me. Anyone?
Thank you.
I was worried about that spot that he had got the pictures of. They sent somebody down in there, and we are talking to, Miley and I shot grade from those pipes southward across Covert Avenue and down the interstate to a major conduit that Steve had told me about, and sure enough, it was there. And we have 4 feet of fall to go that way, but you've got to bore underneath Covert Avenue to get down there. And that information that we shot just last Friday has been furnished to NDOT to look at to see if they can put that in somehow. And that would turn some of their water, Colonial Hills and Mr. Fritz's water, southward possibly. They have to look at capacities and costs and everything else. But Steve was right. There is 4 feet of fall down that way.
Thanks for looking at it. Thanks for working on it.
Oh,
Especially
it's my
on
job.
Saturdays and
It's okay. It's okay. Thank
you.
any other business for Drainage Board? Anyone? Steve, sir, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first order of business I have is there's a proposed stormwater drainage improvement project on Glenbrook Drive, Fieldstone subsection B. We have received 2 bids officially, and I will let the attorney describe them and open them.
First is from Dyke Brothers.
These are lump sum bids, so it should be a total price.
The envelopes shows received by Stormwater on July 28th at 1:55 PM, addressed to Steve, the Assistant County Engineer, clarification, and it's a proposal. And the lump sum bid price is $200,406. 200,406, .00, $200,406. There's an additional addendum that's highlighted that to replace one of the existing trees on lot 47 of Glenbrook Drive, there will be an additional charge of $1,200 on top of that. The second sealed bid is from Russell's Excavating. It's also file marked on July the 28th, 2:30.
1:30,
Okay,
misprint.
it says 2:30. And it's a lump sum total price of $194,500. 194,500.00. And it's accompanied by a liability insurance form as well. And it does not have the addition of the replacement tree.
The tree was supposed to be removed per a property owner letter I sent him because it's in the public easement. I didn't guarantee a replacement. I just said it has to be removed during the pre-bid. Both these companies were at the pre-bid. They were the only two that showed up for the pre-bid, and the pre-bid was not mandatory. I said, if you want to give an addendum for a tree replacement, should we have some property owner issues, feel free to submit it.
Makes sense.
But both bids are higher than my engineer's estimate. But we can take them under advisement.
Fine with that. Good with that. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
To take under advisement.
Take both bids under advisement for review.
I will second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
Next item I have is our MS4 quarterly report. You should have a document in front of you. Any questions from the board? Jennifer is present in the audience. She did a wonderful job putting the information together again. So this is basically a mid-year snapshot of where we're at in terms of total number of complaints, inspections and other projects, either contracted or that we're doing ourselves in-house. Many of the projects listed that you show on the bottom portion called local projects. Some of them require assistance from the highway department when we're putting a pipe under the street. No questions, I'll move forward.
I don't have enough.
Steve, are those all in Newburgh? All those
Pretty
properties?
much most of them, yes, I'd say 99% plus.
Okay, thank you.
Ohio Township. Next item I have was wanted to bring up on the agenda, discuss the increase of stormwater rate fees. We brought this up a few times earlier this year. At this point, I'd like to have Maury, if the board wants to pursue moving forward with it, there's some criteria that has to be met.
I'm going to pass out a copy of Indiana Code Title 8 dash 1.5-5-7, which outlines the process for a service rate change. And I've highlighted the sections under subsection B that we have to comply with. So the one exception is a joint drainage project with a municipality. That's under Title 36-9-23-37. And frankly, all that section does is it prohibits double dipping. You can't both the municipality and the county get paid a drainage fee for that. So other than that, it covers 100% of the processes for a service rate. And so the first thing we have to do is advertise it. It has to be published under Title V. We have to have a public hearing, and then you adopt the proposed rate. It's not the final rate. It goes to the county council for them to review it and decide if they're going to permit it to go to the proposed rate. And then it ultimately goes to the county executive, which is your other capacity as commissioners, for you to decide if you're going to approve it. So that's the process of it. It's not just simply a motion and approved by this board, but it starts with this board, and the public hearing is with this board, but it has to be advertised. Be happy to answer any questions. And I've got more copies if we need more copies.
That all makes sense.
I'm sorry?
I said that all makes sense as far as the process is concerned.
Okay.
So if we raise the rates, that money goes back in to help take care of the
It's a
issues that we're
dedicated,
having?
it's a dedicated,
And not just going to go into a general fund and
no,
sit there,
it's a
right?
dedicated account to Steve's department.
Okay,
It can only be collected and used in our department.
okay.
It's like a utility fee.
It is a
frankly.
fee, and it's similar to, say, a utility.
Okay.
Have you worked up what you would like to see as
Uh,
far as fees?
I put before you a copy of the Baker Tilly alternates again.
Right.
Number one's a bit excessive. Two's kind of midstream, and alternative three, I don't think would help us more than just a few years. So I'm recommending alternative number two. And of course, we can settle on something in between. But remember, this utility assessment or fee assessment by Baker Tilly was done in 2023.
And it used to be $5. It was lowered in conjunction with the county council to $4.50.
In 2014.
Why did they do that?
There was a bargain reached.
It was rob Peter to pay Paul. They decided to rob 50
Economic
cents
development.
from the stormwater fee to use that money to increase. the
Well, it was a savings to taxpayers to offset a new fee that was going to be charged for economic development and county highways.
So they were still going to get charged just in a different way?
Money would be used differently, yes.
Yes, I mean, the total amount of money in the county taxes would remain the same.
What we would all pay as homeowners would be relatively constant. I don't know if there was a new economic development fee on top of the 50 cents. I think there was. I don't think it was 50 cents. I think it went up more than that, but it was an offset for the passing of it. Bobby? Yeah, do you know exactly?
Yes, he does.
If the board needs to know.
It's curious, yeah.
Basically, at the time, the wheel and surtax wasn't at the maximum level. And for us to be able to apply for the distress road funding, we needed to raise the wheel and surtax. And the council wouldn't do it unless they could take it away from somewhere else. And stormwater fell on that. And then the council wouldn't let us get the loan. But we did get the additional money for roads, and we're able to make some road improvements with it, just not as much as we could have.
And you're still at 100% right now for wheel and surtax.
No, actually, we're not. We're at 100%. They've changed the law since then and made the wheel and surtax
Higher.
even higher, that the counties, as a way so they could basically reduce taxes and put it on locals to raise it.
They pass through the cost.
Yes, they pass through the cost. So now we're not quite as all the way anymore, but we make do with what we've got.
So to
It
that
cannot be
point,
lowered.
Your General Assembly at work.
my question is, kind of relative to 2025 and the SB 1 and all the new legislation that we still don't have fully vetted calculations on. You've presented to council your budget. I know they got the certain percentage that they projected out there for loss. I don't
Lost
know if that's-
dollars.
Again, I don't know if that's fully vetted or not yet. I guess I'll say this. If there's a time to do it, now's the time to do it, because there has to be some shuffling done with budgets because of the new legislation.
And I can ask Baker Tilly for more integrated projections, not just alternate 1, 2, and 3. How about somewhere in between 1 and 2 and somewhere between 2 and 3? Just like give you how much would this generate for every 50 cents or every dollar, whatever the board would like to see.
And I want to point out that on the highlighted section of my handout, which was the Indiana Code, not the last sentence, but the sentence prior to that, the second sentence. It's a mandate that the amount of the user fee must be the minimum amount necessary for the operation and maintenance of the stormwater system. We can't run it in the red, cannot. We're mandated that we have to break even
And
at the
we're
very least.
on projections to be in the red by the end of the year,
Or else we have to really curtail projects.
based upon our current budget.
And Bobby Howard again, I just want to point out that stormwater fee increases can also help pay for these regulated drains that need to be cleaned. So that's one way to also raise revenues through the stormwater department.
And we've done that.
And we've done that in the past.
Safe to say that all the stormwater drains make their way to the,
Regulated
Legal
drains.
But with costs of increase, as you know, in the last 12 years, fuel, insurance, material, everything else, and the frequency of situations that get called in and complaints we have to deal with, the money that used to be in excess is no longer there. It's all being used towards what it was intended to be used for. But we just have to increase the fees. Now, Town of Chandler increased theirs to $6.50 a month. Town of Newburgh's increased theirs 3 times now to $10.50 a month. And in the back of that original Baker Tilly report, you can see what the whole state of Indiana is sitting at. And we're in the lower 25-30%.
I'm comfortable moving forward with alternative 2.
council, I got one more question relative to the amount of money. If we vote to pass this on to the council today, is
No.
the number
We would vote,
set
we
in
would vote
stone?
to advertise it, that we were considering a rate increase.
Right.
And we would set a public hearing date in the advertisement. At that public meeting, you would vote on a number, whatever you thought you were trying to raise percentage-wise. That would be then referred to the council and referred to the commissioners for their approval.
Okay, and then that's my question. Is that number set in stone at that point, or does the council have the ability to move it up or down?
I think they can't move it up, but they could move it down.
Okay.
I think, when I read this statute, Mr. President, I was trying to consider when it went to 450, when it was cut, was there a public advertisement that it was about to be cut? I don't think there was. So I drew the conclusion that you can go down, but you can't go up.
That's my last question.
So you would, if you act on it today, and that's up to you, if you act on today, your decision today would be to advertise for a rate increase.
But we're
And
we're not
public-
naming that rate today. We don't have to
You
name
do
that
not.
rate today.
You do not.
Yes.
So then I'll make a motion to advertise a rate increase.
I'll second that.
I'll second that motion. I am a voting member on this board. Is that correct?
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that would be.
Then we'll get together, Steve and I will get together and we'll get the notice to the newspaper. And when would you like to have the public hearing? Do you have a date in mind?
Would it be appropriate to have it before this meeting?
Probably you can't make the one at the next meeting because the paper is only printed on, the advertisements are only on Thursdays.
But
2
before the
consecutive Thursdays.
meeting thereafter?
Yeah, so it'd be a month from today. A month from this meeting.
We could just start the drainage board or stormwater meeting, exit it, have the public hearing, come back into.
So it would be the August 25th meeting.
So, and I would have Steve advertise it for the August 25th meeting at 2:45. Okay,
I'll get with you on the advertisement.
okay.
And I need to send something to Baker Tilly for a little more thoroughness on
If
projections.
you're going to have them come for the meeting and make a projection, does the board want Baker Tilly to be present at the public hearing to explain the rates?
I think
a
that
good
would be
idea.
appropriate, since they have the knowledge, do you? Is that
They've done the
typical?
calculations.
Six, one, half dozen. I would like to know how this new number plays into your budget next year relative to the new legislation. Which I guess we'll have that if we just ever see that information on its own.
Probably we should invite the president of the county commissioner or county council to be present. he could probably address what they've been told about the new number. And he ought to hear this.
That would be Ron Bacon.
Mhm. That'll take next one.
Thank you for your action. That's all the information I have unless the board has any questions for me.
I don't. Anything else from anyone?
If we need it. Oh,
There's somebody sitting in the audience.
I do have one other thing. Excuse me, Terry. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is coming down to see the slurry pond in August. I think it's August 20th, if I remember correctly. I'll tell you just a second. Yes, August 20th in the mid-afternoon. He and I think Christy Risk is coming too, so.
Okay. Sir, did you have something?
Anybody else?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Mark Slow, I live in Sonyville subdivision. And we're just upstream from this gentleman here, his business, Chris. And we have a bit of an issue with water running off of Kenosha Hills, if you're familiar with that neighborhood. There's actually a culvert pipe that it runs underneath Epworth Road into, I'm not even sure if it's a legal or not, or non-legal ditch, but it creates a lot of water in our subdivision. And it runs in between Williamsburg and Monticello Drive. And then it goes under the bridge and then into his territory. But what has happened is the last few hard rains, and they had one, like you said, in 2013, water was coming off the street of Epworth into my pet neighbor's driveway and running into the ditch just right behind me. And it's quite a bit of water. So with that being said, I drove the whole neighborhood one time a few years back watching the rain, and I drove around and Epworth was a little bit flooded. I got out of the truck and looked, and where's that water going? And I saw that cold pipe that was going right in our neighborhood. So I didn't understand. Maybe you can help clear this up. I didn't understand why the water was actually going in our neighborhood. I thought it was supposed to be maintained in your own, but maybe the rules were different
It's
back
not-
then. I don't know.
It has to pass, I mean, in the normal water course, if your neighborhood is in
Yeah.
the same drainage area, I mean, it's going to have to come into your neighborhood at some point.
Okay.
I mean, you can't strictly deal with the neighborhood by neighborhood situation.
Mhm.
We actually have county water, another county coming into our county, but it comes here naturally. So it's our ditch. We have to deal with it.
If your question is Kenosha Hills draining across Epworth Road in the Colonial Hills,
Yeah.
it always has.
Yeah.
The pipe was always there. We put a new one in to replace the existing one at Bunker Hill
Mhm.
about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
But both of those subdivisions were built in what I would say is the early to mid 70s, and they were built for a 25-year storm, which is even a less frequency than we allow currently, being 50-year
I
storm.
was thinking maybe, I'm from Newburgh. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was thinking maybe closer to 1980 when it was put in.
The pipe,
First one or the second?
my history only goes back 1988,
Yeah.
and the highway department and I replaced the pipe across Epworth Road, but
Okay.
it's always drained
Mhm.
from east to west because it has to go to this legal drain that Mr. Fritz was talking about.
Art Williams ditch again. It's got.
If you look at,
Yeah.
if you look at the
Well, I
club,
mean, yeah, I know we got a project coming up. You're going to expand widen Epworth Road. And I'm just kind of curious how they're gonna manage that water. I know when you got more pavement, hard ground, no ground absorption, no grass, no field or whatever, it's going to create more water.
And if you live in Colonial Hills on Monticello or the other driveway, if you notice, there's a 40-foot wide drainage easement that takes all that water through Colonial Hills, under the bridge and Mr. Fritz's
You're right,
corner property.
correct.
And that's where the legal drain starts, I believe, at that common border with your property
That's
and
correct.
Colonial Hills subdivision.
Now, I do understand we got some issues further downstream. But when they widen, I know it'll be, 20, 30 before they get in that area, is that correct? As far as widening, Epworth Road? Or-
The first phase of Epworth Road will be from 66 to basically the south edge of Fall Creek Drive or Tecumseh Drive. The second phase, which is an area you're talking about, will be about 3 or 4 years after that phase.
Correct,
It had to be broken up into 2 phases.
right,
So
okay,
the engineers that designing it for the county are aware of it.
okay.
And we've already told them, there's been many complaints in that area about drainage, so
Right.
we'll see what they come up with.
To give you an idea how much water we had the last 2 times, I even got a video of it, but I don't want to take too much of your time.
It's okay.
I put a shed, I built a shed in my backyard. I put it on concrete steel. So in 2013, when you had that tall rain, I made sure the bottom of the floor joist on the shed was 6 inches below that grade. But that last rain we had, it was almost inside the water was almost inside my shed. That was an additional 8 to 10 inches higher than what I projected from 2013. But anyway, that's probably an ongoing thing for a while, I guess.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah. But mostly concerned about my neighbors. They get flooded more so than I do inside the basement. But, I do plan to meet with the engineer sometime soon, and maybe he can help us all out.
Thanks for
I
your
appreciate
feedback.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? I'll entertain a final motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
I'm not on the board.
Oh.
Oh, this is a
Yeah, it's yours.
stormwater. Yeah, I'll second that motion.
I was deferring to you.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0.
I'll get a hold of the gentleman with Baker Tilly that worked on that last.
Make sure he's available.
And then we need to work on that.
Molly's got patterns. So
Are you gonna formulate?
So
the-
That threw me for a loop,
Yeah,
actually.
that's
I know,
going
me
to
too, because
Baker.
he's not said that before.
Yeah.